Hi, it's been a while since we've done any of these video recording things. In the last few weeks or so, I've been only uploading some random bullshit on my channel, which I feel like is the way my life is going right now. It's just random bullshit that I cannot seem to control, and also is not that entertaining or funny. I also got a really shitty haircut that makes me look like a douchebag from an anime, or that could easily be my own insecurities being projected onto my hair. Who knows? So, recently, I've been extremely sick. In the last 3 days, I got about 6 shots right into my ass, and I got one of those pouch vitamins that goes straight into your veins right about here. And I was all drugged up, and of course, add to that some painkillers and just some pills in general. And I haven't been able to study for a while, and like most people who aren't able to do the things that they're supposed to do, I got really, really depressed. And in the last few days, I've been contemplating all sorts of needless things in my life. I watched Deadpool 2. It did not help, and which is why I'm probably not going to review it, because my perspective is not the right perspective that the film that I kind of needed to really analyze that movie. Because throughout watching that film, all I could think of was, I wish this whole theater would just explode, because what's the fucking point anymore? So, you know, in those moments, you start really looking back into your life, you know, wondering where it went wrong, you know, where did I screw up? You know, was it because I was always an outcast who always wanted to talk about movies and music and always read books that were way too long for me, and nobody wanted to talk to me about those things because people don't really want to take life that seriously, unless it's their job and all those things. When it comes to entertainment, they don't want to take those things seriously. They just want to, you know, get it over with, have it done, and go get laid. Or is it because my chin is basically non-existent? You know, it's barely there. And at a certain point I kind of thought, well, is it me? Is the problem not everybody else but me? Am I going to have one of those moments where I look into the mirror and say, you know what, who I'm mad at? I'm mad at myself. And I thought about that. But then I ate some burgers and some fries for the first time in about 3 months. And, you know, right now I've got like some marinara sauce on my fingers. You can smell it, which is something that you'd probably like if you're a psychopath. And after eating those burgers, I decided to actually get my shit together. And I came to the rightful conclusion that it is not my fault, it is everybody else's fault. It is everybody else's fault to blame. I will not blame myself, because I'm still 19 and I can afford to do that. Which is why we come to this story. So I had this friend. I was 12. I was in elementary school, and like we were just having this conversation in the hallway. And like most conversations where 12-year-olds, you know, kind of have with each other, especially 12-year-old boys, we got to the topic of blowjobs, which is just natural. It just happens. And, you know, I just asked him, oh boy, I wonder what a blowjob feels like. And then he was like, oh, I totally know what a blowjob feels like. And keep in mind, I live in Korea, which is one of the most sexually oppressed countries in the whole world. Not as much as some of the countries in the Middle East, but when it comes to Asia as a whole, yeah, Korea is definitely within the top 5, I would say. And, you know, so I was like, oh, no way you ever got a blowjob from anybody. Unless your dick is so long and you can reach it like Ron Jeremy in that one thing that I saw him in which we'll not discuss. And he was like, no, I totally got a blowjob. You know, it was at my place, and it happened. And I was like, okay, he's saying that it was at his place. is this some incest bullshit that I do not want to know about? And I asked him, okay, who was it with? Why did it happen? And, you know, when did it happen? All that shit. And, you know, he was like, oh, yeah, you know that kid from the 6th class? And for the sake of this kind of story, we'll just call him May. And yes, I just said him. Because, so the next question I asked him was, well, yeah, I know who May is, but May's a dude. So what's up with that? And he was like, well, you know, we're just talking about blowjobs, and like I said, talking about blowjobs is very natural when it comes to 12-year-old boys. So they were talking about blowjobs, and they decide to make a little pact. They decide to suck each other's dicks for about 15 seconds. Just 15 seconds, not not go all the way. They just decide to, you know, give each other the little sucky, and get it over with, because they were just that curious. And even to this day, I'm not sure if he was lying, because to a certain extent, it's plausible. It's stupid enough where it could actually be something that a 12-year-old boy would do. So I was like, okay, well, that's something that's good to know. And then I added, and again, this was when I was 12. I had no idea what I was talking about, and I just said this. You know, it's kind of gay, man. And he was actually really offended. He was like, oh, how is it gay? It's not gay. I was just curious. You know, if anything, it's totally heterosexual. And I was like, no, dude. I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm just saying it's kind of gay. And of course, you know, he was all up in the roar with it, like, oh my god, it's totally not gay, it's totally straight. And for like a solid minute, we had this argument about whether giving each other, you know, two guys giving each other blowjobs, even though they're straight, just because they wanted to know how it felt, is gay or not. And I decided to just, you know, concede and say, okay, you win, it's totally straight, it's totally heterosexual, go and enjoy your little fantasy there. And a bit of silence came between us for about a solid 15 seconds or so. And I kind of added this little notion, a little question there. I asked him, so, how did it taste? What did it taste like? And he was like, what, the penis? And I was like, no, the sperm. What did it taste like? I had never tasted my own sperm. And he was like, oh, like I said, we only sucked each other for like 15 seconds. We didn't go all the way. And that was really when I wanted to ask this question. Well, why didn't you go all the way? Because if I were you, if I was just going to do it, might as well go all the way, you know? Might as well hit that fucking peak and get the experience done with. And he said, well, in his humble opinion, going all the way is gay. So sucking each other's dicks, totally not gay. Totally not. 0% gay, totally heteronormative, whatever. But going all the way, yeah, totally gay. 100% gay. If you were doing that back in the day, you would be stoned to death. That's some gay shit. That's what he was saying. So clearly, my life was surrounded with people like that. So clearly, the fact that I'm in this state right now, the fact that I'm balding, the fact that I'm fucked up in the brain, in the heart, in the soul, in every single way, shape, or form that I am, clearly it was not for me to blame, it was for everybody else around me, because they were fucked up people. And I would say I can easily blame probably every single person that I have had a conversation with for the last 15 years. The last 15 years, because I was good until I was 5. That's when I hit my peak. My physical peak and my mental peak. I was a legit cute 5-year-old. I was an attractive 5-year-old. I was probably on every single local pedophile's top 10 list for kidnapping and buying candies for. Yeah. So clearly, it was all downhill from there. So, here's to hitting our peaks when we were 5. or 6, or, you know, anywhere around that ballpark. Because clearly, the second we hit our teen years, it was all fucking downhill from there. Unless you're a teen pop star. In that case, go fuck yourself.